All right, what's going on, guys? It's Greg here from Kinobody, and finally we got a nice winter day here. But in this video, I want to talk about intermittent fasting for building muscle. Can you build muscle with intermittent fasting? Now, as a lot of you know, I've been doing intermittent fasting for over 5 years now, and I've had incredible results with fat loss, with building muscle. But let me just get this out of the park. Intermittent fasting in and of itself is not going to build muscle. What's going to build muscle is proper training and the proper amount of nutrients to support muscle growth. Now, you can do that with intermittent fasting. In fact, I think that's a really smart way to go, and we'll kind of discuss that in this video. But first order of business is, what is going to drive muscle growth? What's going to drive muscle growth is progression. It's progressive overload. It's getting stronger and progressing in your workout. You know, we don't build muscle to look good. Our body doesn't like have this trigger that's like, oh, you know, I want to look good. That's not what happens. It's a functional response to a stimulus. So as you start training and, you know, you're lifting heavier weights, or maybe you're just pumping up more reps, your body has to adapt to that stimulus, and it does so by getting stronger and improving their neuromuscular functioning. So the only way you're going to build muscle is if you're progressing in these different lifts. With Kinobody, I talk about the most sensible way to build the physique you want is, we're tracking these key lifts and you want to get stronger at them. That's really like most of where your gains are going to come from. But of course, to really drive muscle growth, you have to make sure you have enough nutrition. You have to make sure the calories are there. And ideally, if you're trying to build muscle, you want to be eating at maintenance or a little above. I think that a lot of people get this completely wrong. They think you have to, in order to build muscle, you got to eat tons and tons of calories. And that's absolute bullshit. That just leads to unnecessary fat gain. In any case, like, this whole idea you have to bulk up and then cut down is ridiculous. That makes no sense. You want to focus on progressing in your workout, not on adding tons and tons of weight to the scale, because that means nothing. If you add 10 pounds to the scale, but your strength went up the same amount, it doesn't matter. The strength is what reflects muscle growth, not some scale weight. So people, they think they have to go on crazy diets. I actually tell people, most people, I'm like, look, you probably don't have to focus on eating that much more than you typically eat, because that will just lead to fat gain. If you're training, your training's proper, you're pushing for those progressive overloads, that's going to handle your muscle growth. You don't have to eat a ton of calories. But so as long as your training's dialed in properly, ideally you're training 3 days a week, you're going heavy and hard, you're pushing for those personal records, you're getting in sufficient calories, eating around maintenance, a little above. You can play around with the calorie intake as the weeks go by to make sure you're not putting on fat. And then you want to make sure you're getting in sufficient protein. You don't need that much protein. It's about 0.8 grams per pound. And then a nice balance of fats and carbs. Both are important. Carbs help replenish, glycogen stores. They help support training performance. Carbs are important in hormonal functioning. They boost insulin, which helps, drive nutrients into the muscle tissue, and fats obviously important for hormonal functioning and many factors. So you just want to eat a balanced diet with sufficient protein and a proper amount of calories. And I love to do that within intermittent fasting, because with intermittent fasting you get so many benefits. You just feel so productive all day. You have amazing energy when you adapt to it. You're mentally clear. It just gives you this amazing freedom in life where the first 5, 6, 7 hours you're not even thinking about food. You're just working, you're focusing, you're pouring yourself into whatever task you have. You're not thinking about cleaning and cooking, preparing meals. You're not tired and you're not like recharging from eating. You're just simply focused. You're simply there, and it's this beautiful thing. And then when you eat, you can have the freedom to eat the foods you want. Even if you're bulking up, right? Even if you're bulking up and you're eating 4, 5, 6 meals a day, you don't have that much freedom, right? You don't have that much freedom. You're not going to be able to eat 5,000 calories in a bulk. If I'm bulking up, I would probably be eating 2,700 calories a day. That's not that much, okay? That's not that much. But when I do intermittent fasting and I push my first meal later, and I have this amazing, 1,500 calorie meal, and then I have like a nice dessert at night, and then maybe, some pop chips or later, it's like, wow, I can have this amazing day and I'm not even putting on fat. It's absolutely remarkable. So with intermittent fasting, you just get these amazing benefits of fasting. And as long as you're able to eat the proper amount of calories, get in the proper amount of protein, the intermittent fasting is definitely beneficial on a lean bulk. That's all you have to do. Now, some people are like, oh, Greg, I can't eat enough food or protein. on intermittent fasting. Well, that's when you can go and say, you know what? Don't try and be perfect. You don't have to be perfectly clean. You know, eat good amount of lean meats, vegetables, fruits, potatoes. But if you want to have, you know, something, you know, some ice cream, or, you know, some chocolate, or whatever it is, maybe some like Honey Nut Cheerios. If you want to have some junk in your diet, it's okay. It's not going to kill you. If that helps you hit your calories, then that's fine. You know, as far as being healthy, a lot of it is just about maintaining a lean, healthy weight. Like the biggest burden on your health is actually having too much fat, and like, you know, overeating, too many calories. It's gonna like low calorie diets and intermittent fasting have life extension benefits. So people are so scared about eating like food, like, oh my god, this has sugar, or this isn't like 100% clean. Like, relax, it's not a big deal. As long as you're maintaining a healthy weight, you're active, you're not stressed the hell out, your health is gonna be fine. But so in that case, just eat. You know, if you need to have a protein shake to hit your protein numbers, then go for it. For me, that's obscene. I can eat enough meat and I can eat enough like protein-based foods to do that, so I don't have to worry about that. But don't be too stringent if you can't get the calories in. Like, have some freedom. You know, go out, have some pizza if you want to. It's not that hard to hit the proper amount of calories. But if you're having a hard time gaining weight, what I'll tell you is stop focusing on gaining weight. Focus on gaining strength. If your lifts go up by 20 pounds in the next month or two, trust me, you will have built muscle. So don't focus on the weight so much. That's a good way to build like fat and muscle. If you focus on just gaining strength and just making sure, you know, you're not overdoing the calories, you're gonna look really amazing, like Brad Pitt and Troy. That's what's gonna support that type of development, where you're building muscle but you're staying lean and chiseled. Finally, the other kind of reasons why I like intermittent fasting for, you know, building muscle just in general is because I feel like it really works with our body. Like, let me give you an example. Like when we wake up, that's our time to maximize fat burning. Growth hormones elevated in the intermittent fasting state. That helps shift fuel metabolism away from muscle tissue to burning fat. So it supports fat mobilization. You're not sacrificing muscle by intermittent fasting. Quite the contrary. You have to go a long time for muscle, you know, to sacrifice muscle with intermittent fasting. You have to fast for, you know, 2, 3, 4 days in a row before that will affect you. But this is just short fast, pushing your first meal 6, 7, 8 hours. The benefits are really, really profound. And then when you shift into this state where you're eating your first meal, you're eating big, it just has this amazing anabolic effect, because you're fasted this whole time, and now your insulin sensitivity is peaking. Your nutrition partitioning is very high, so you're able to drive those nutrients into your muscle tissues. When I first started doing intermittent fasting with proper training and proper nutrition intake, my muscles like grew pretty quickly. Like they because I was holding more glycogen in the muscles because I was fasting so long, and now my body was like really restocking that food, and the nutrition partitioning was massively improved. So these are my thoughts on doing intermittent fasting on a lean bulk. I say, you know, go for it. Don't fast excessively long. Push that first meal 5, 6 hours after waking. You know, eat 2 meals, maybe a snack to hit your calories, and be relaxed. Get sufficient protein, balance of fats and macros, balance of fats and carbs, and you're gonna have this amazing experience with intermittent fasting. All my programs, whether you're cutting or you're bulking up, I use the intermittent fasting setup because I think that works so amazing. You know, and also really with intermittent fasting, it really helps you stay lean while you're building muscle, because there's not that issue of like trying to stick to some diet. It's just so simple and effortless. Oh, just push my first meal, now I have the freedom to eat the foods I want. So it just sets the stage to make staying lean so damn effortless. Now, some of you might have to work at eating a bit more. It might take you a couple weeks to adapt, but don't worry, focus on getting stronger in the gym, and the food and the appetite will kind of fall into place from my experience. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, comment below, and you know what? Share your experiences with intermittent fasting for building muscle. What have your experiences been? Has it been easy? Has it been better than eating, you know, the 4, 5, 6 meals a day? Share your thoughts. I know for myself, if I did the breakfast and the 4 or 5 meals a day, staying lean would be an absolute, I don't know how, I wouldn't be able to do it because I like food so much and I can put on weight. So I actually don't even have to try to lean bulk. I never go on deliberate lean bulks because I have the ability to eat a lot of food, and that's why I do intermittent fasting. And also the productivity benefits and just the fact that I love being in this fasted state. It feels so freaking good. So hope you enjoyed the video. Talk to you later. Bye.